What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Gennady Golovkin. As promised, guys, I was going to get around to this topic. I know this is a couple days old, but I just need to finally counterpunch this issue concerning Gennady Golovkin. Okay, Triple G has been a force in the middleweight division, right? He was actually a resistance. He was this guy with 22 title defenses. You know, he got belts. A belt was given to him. The WBC was given to him by Canelo Alvarez. He had the IBO and he had the, he had the IBF and the WBA, and he was given the WBC. Okay, so he had 3 of the 4 belts. The only belt he didn't have was the WBO, which at the time was held by Billy Joe Saunders. And, you know, he's had a career of speculation. And a lot of people that were fans of Triple G used to defend Triple G just like any other fans would. And I sat back and I listened to the things that people said about Golovkin, you know, and let's go back 3 years. That's when Golovkin couldn't get fights. That's when people were avoiding Golovkin. That's when Golovkin was the boogeyman of the division. See, and one thing I noticed, and I said about Golovkin, like I say about Earl Spence Jr. Now, if you're looking for marquee fights and you can't get any, and you claim nobody wants to fight you, him and Abel Sanchez was claiming that thing. No one wants to fight us, and then you get a call out from someone that's coming, a skilled fighter coming from a lower weight class that's calling you out saying, hey, I'll fight you. And then you decline the suggestion, okay? And I'm talking about Erislandy Lara. Erislandy Lara called out Golovkin. He wanted to fight him since nobody else would. Canelo didn't even want to fight Golovkin at the time. Lara should have took that fight, because this is what happened, okay? Golovkin, they turned that fight down. When they turned that fight down, they turned down the idea of fighting Lara. He's not a big enough draw, right? That was their excuse back then. From Abel Sanchez, he's not a big enough draw for us to fight. But then you're fighting David Lemieux, and, you know, you had bullshit mandatories like, Dominic Wade, and he fought Gabe Rosado. Gabe Rosado hung in there. You know what I mean? Gabe Rosado, shouts out to him. He's a tough guy. Really tough guy. You know, I love to watch him fight. But, you know, he was fighting guys like that. You know, he finally got a fight with Danny Jacobs. You know, and if we fast forward through all this, the notion of Canelo Alvarez, him wanting Canelo Alvarez. He wanted Canelo Alvarez in the big debate. Canelo wasn't ready. Canelo didn't want to be forced by a sanctioning body, so he gave that belt up. We know all that, okay? You know, little memory lane lesson, okay? Then he fights Kell Brook. You don't want to fight Erislandy Lara, but you go fight Kell Brook. That's strange. You know, and Kell Brook fought him the wrong way. He came right at Golovkin. That was wrong on so many levels. And he was just a smaller dude, so there was no way. He broke his eye for it. His eye bone. He broke it. Okay? And, you know, then, okay, you turn down a fight with Erislandy Lara, but you fight a smaller guy. You turn down that fight. You fight the smaller dude. You chase Canelo Alvarez, right? Criticize him. And you don't want to go leave 160 to fight at a catch weight. But then you had all these other fighters. You had Chris Eubank. You had Peter Quillen. You had Billy Joe Saunders. He fought David Lemieux. Now he did that. Beat David Lemieux. And everyone was like, oh, man, that's impressive. Then you had Andre Ward, okay? Andre Ward was at 168. He didn't want to go up there, okay? He didn't want to take that challenge. That's facts, people. He didn't want to go up there. So that was another fight that he could have had, which would have been a super fight. But he didn't want that type of fight. He wanted to chase Canelo, right? And we wondered, okay, you know, people used to criticize Canelo, like, Canelo, why didn't you, you know, why did you give your belt up to Golovkin? He's like, well, that belt doesn't define me. He beat Cotto for that belt. None of those guys were true middleweights. Well, I know Cotto wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But then he gets the fights with Canelo, right? Then everything changes, and then it gets more suspicious to me. Then he starts, I don't want to fight these type of fighters. You know, I don't want to fight Charlo, because he lost to Canelo in a close fight. But then he doesn't want to fight Charlo. You know, and of course the WBC was mandating him to fight Charlo. So, you know, a lot of people are like, well, why does he need to fight Charlo? And you know what I mean? But then he'll go fight fucking Martirosyan, okay? Vanes Martirosyan, you fight him, but you couldn't fight Charlo. And it just, all this really means, okay, now it's not about people avoiding you. It's about who you target to fight. You want to fight only particular fighters, specific fighters. You know, now he wanted to fight Canelo. He fought Canelo again. Now he wants to fight him for the third time. You still have Charlo. You still have Andrade with the WBO belt, the one that Billy Joe Saunders had. Oh, and he reneged on it. Billy Joe Saunders signed a contract which it never was signed by Golovkin. So Golovkin is ducking. You can't sit here and say, oh God, you got your new trainer, you got your contract, you got also Andrade, he's also on DAZN with a belt, and you don't want to fight him for it? You don't want to fight Charlo for it? What the fuck do you want to do? Oh, you want to fight Canelo for the third time. Dude, get off Canelo's nuts, okay? That's the problem with Golovkin. And then if you look back down memory lane, like I just discussed with you guys, he's been doing that shit his whole career. Him and Abel Sanchez have decided, no, we don't want that kind of fight. That fight's all wrong. You see what I'm saying? Because they knew if a guy like Canelo couldn't catch a guy like Lara, how do you think they could? And you know, I used to think that Golovkin was good at cutting off the ring, but no, I'm not convinced now. Because what Golovkin showed me in those Canelo fights is he was limited. And I'm glad he has another trainer, because he could only do so much. And all Canelo did was angle his body sideways to avoid those big punches from penetrating. And a lot of those were missing. A lot of jabs were landed, sure. But yeah, you lost after them. You lost officially. Suck it up. If you felt you won, why would you want to fight him again anyway? Fight someone else. He turned down the idea of fighting Danny Jacobs in a rematch, right? He don't want to fight that fight. But yet you want to fight fucking Canelo again. So what could be fueling this desire to fight Canelo? Money. Okay? It's money. They know what it is. That's what the reason is. They don't want to risk fighting someone like Charlo or Andrade, someone is fast and quick like Andrade with that reach advantage and the speed, and he has power too, and skill, mind you. They don't want to fight anyone like that, because a guy like that could ruin their contract. And yes, Golovkin's ducking. There's no doubt about it. He's ducking. He's avoiding these fights for a particular reason. There's no one else there. What is he going to do? To go to 168? You know what I'm saying? You know, and you think it's a coincidence that Billy Joe Saunders signed a contract and he sent it back and Golovkin's team never signed it? They could call that Canelo shit all you want. You can only call that Canelo bluff so many times for people to catch on. Dude, you're ducking. Fuck Steve Rolls. Who was he anyway? He was another pawn for everyone. He was an easy pawn. He had an undefeated record. It looked good on your record for fighting someone undefeated. I guess that gets your confidence back. You know, it's a good introduction with a new trainer. I get that. But for you saying, I don't want to fight a rematch with Jacobs, I don't want to fight Andrade for a WBO portion, at least you would have some kind of bargaining chip after that. Oh, and I don't want to fight Billy Joe or Charlo either. Dude, if that's the case, who the fuck are you going to fight for 6 fights? What is it, 6 fights, right? who is he going to fight for 6 fights? You know what I'm saying? If it's not, if that's the case. So, I don't think that Golovkin really wanted to fight the best. I think he wanted to do what a lot of other fighters like Errol Spence does. He wants to fight particular fighters, not everybody, not the fighters that want him, not the challenging fights. He doesn't want those type of fights. He wants fights particularly for a particular reason. That's why he wants Canelo. You know, he wants to right the wrong. Dude, if you feel you won twice, why the fuck you got to right the wrong? You want some right money. That's what you want. You know, and that's what he's looking at. He wants a certain amount of money to fight Canelo and those other, because he got a taste of that shit, people. And he can't get another fight like that. There's not going to be another marquee fight like that. There's not another Canelo, especially in that area. There won't be another Canelo for a very long time. Right? Just keeping it real. So, that is what it is. When you're talking about Golovkin, he's ducking. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I can say about it. And I like Golovkin, but Golovkin, you know, I've observed him over the years, and I've seen fights he mysteriously just don't take. You know what I mean? And you want to call it a coincidence? I think not. I think he was purposely avoiding certain fights, and he's always been secretly ducking for a very long time. And that's my counterpunch on that, guys. You guys tell me what you think about Gennady Golovkin and the truth about him. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.